Hey, what's going on? It's YourTechHomeboy reporting live to you this beautiful morning. I am recording live from the home of 100-degree weather, consecutive during this heat drought. I hope you're staying cool. Make sure you hit the thumbs up, support your boy, subscribe, share this with everybody. What are the positive sides of returning back to the office? There's been a lot of grunts and complaints about, oh, we got to go back to the office and I can't work in my pajamas anymore. This video is about some of the positive sides. So if you have a friend or family that's returning back to the office and you hear them complaining, share this to them on LinkedIn. Just shoot them a text message and say, hey, here's a video from somebody who's in tech who's talking about some of the positive sides of returning to the office. And yes, I am driving. Do not worry. I have a self-driving car. So I will be safe. Just trust the self-driving car. Don't worry about it, all right? So in the video, before we get into the positive side, let's talk about some of the negatives, right? So for the negatives, especially for those of us who are already working in the field, we have to actually get up earlier, get dressed, and go into the office, right? That takes a lot more time, mental energy, and physical energy. I can talk about the bad sides forever. But just for the people who's working, we actually have to go into the office and spend that time that we would usually spend with our family, watering the yard, maybe working out, preparing our meal for the day. Now we got to wake up earlier. We might just get some donuts or McDonald's or something instead. So it does impact our mental and physical energy for those of us who are already working. All right. Another negative side is it will be costlier. Right? If you're like me, you live in Texas, you have a lot of tolls to get to work. This is not a public transportation friendly place. So if you can take public transportation, it might be different for you, but in Texas, we just take tolls everywhere, right? So now we're dealing with an increase to our transportation expenses in our budget. Between the gas, especially if you have to go into the office multiple days a week. Some companies have different policies. They're ushering in different policies, 1 day a week, 2 days a week, what have you. It definitely is making us spend more money on our transportation, whether it's fuel, car washes, like I said, spending money maybe in the morning for breakfast, and tollways. This morning, it will cost me about $3.50 to get to work, and a little bit more when I get back. Probably almost double that when I get off of work, depending on what time I leave, right? So you add that up per day. Let's say you're spending, let's just say $8 per day. You're going into the office 3 times a week, $24 a week. Come on, 24 times for the month. Let's just say on average 4 times a week. You're looking at almost $100 a week. I think that's like $96 a week, a month rather. So that's just tolls in itself. That's not food, that's not gas, right? What are some other negative sides? You got to deal with your coworkers. You got to look at them. You got to smell them. People be coughing and wearing masks. I'm like, what's going on? You still wearing a mask? Hey, some people's body odor are not the best. Some people have a lot of loose cat hairs that they bring to work with them. A lot of considerations that you have to take when you go back into this work. I had a coworker who recently had COVID. They did not come to work, but shout out to that coworker. He's doing fine and well now. All right. So plenty of negatives. You can leave your own negatives in the comments. Let me know what you think is the worst part of returning back to work. But this video mostly is for the positive, right? There's enough negative out there. There's enough grief and misery in the world. So this is some positive. All right, so what's some of the positives? My positive is that you get to also see your coworkers. You get to build a better bond with them. So when you do meet with them virtually, it's not just a face, it's not just, based off some photos or something. You get to actually see them in person, get to learn the mannerisms, get to learn all the idiosyncrasies, if you will, and have a better relationship with them, which for me as like a people manager or project manager, it makes all the difference. A lot of my job is conversation, conflict resolution, foreseeing problems and just helping teams become efficient and self-organized. And a lot of that has to do with social, with like your social relationship with someone as opposed to what they do technically. So meeting people in person, getting to know them, getting to speak to them, getting to have those conversations face to face, those are the best ways to have like those breakthrough coaching and advising conversations, is in person, face to face, 100%, without a doubt. Okay. Another positive thing, I don't drive, I live in the suburbs, so I don't drive towards Dallas much. If you're in the metro area like I am, like if you're like in Houston, or you're in like New York, or even LA County, you might be comfortable with your neighborhood. You got everything in your neighborhood, you got everything in your suburb. You're like, I'm not driving to the city for anything. The city's 30 minutes, no traffic. For some of you, if you're lucky, the city's an hour with traffic. Hey, I'm not driving to the city. I have everything I need over here. I remember I was in Houston last week. I was in the I think I was in like the Vintage area. It was an area called Cypress before you get to Houston. For those of you who might know about Tomball and Cypress. Hey man, I didn't even touch the city. Didn't even touch the city, no reason. The city's like 30-40 minutes from me. We did everything we needed to do in Tomball and in Cypress, right? Had a great fun, beautiful wedding and great food. So, if you're one of those metro areas where you have everything around you, there's no reason to go to the city. Well, positive side is I get to go to the city a little bit more. I get to hang out a little bit more. I get to eat at the restaurants. I ate at an Indo-Chinese place last week. You get to try out just different places that you don't see in the suburbs. So, as someone who used to live in the city, it's cool to be able to sneak peek and sneak into the city every once in a while. That's dope, because you kind of forget what's going on. You kind of stay in your own bubble. Another positive for me is that's it. I really don't have too many positives, man. It's always good to do your work in person as opposed to virtual, because I've been working virtually forever. But if you can think of some more positives, go ahead and leave a comment. Tell me what you think is the best part. Tell me what you think is the worst part. For me, I think one of the worst parts also is, if you're like me, if you're a father, you gotta figure out where the frick your kids are gonna go, right? Maybe if your wife works, you gotta figure out, okay, where's our kid gonna go? You might have to consider daycare. You might have to consider a nanny that to be at your crib all day. I used to work somewhere, they actually had a daycare on the first floor of the building. I think the company I work for, they own like 5 floors of the building, and the daycare was the first floor. They went through enough town halls where the employees kept asking, hey, we need a daycare. That'll make a great impact on our job. So that was a couple years ago, but my company, they don't have a daycare. So I'm like, okay, where am I gonna put my boy? But we got all that figured out, and that's all I have to say. Really, it's my first video I've done on the road. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe, share. It's your tech homeboy. Have a safe, blessed day, and keep it positive.